Hello there, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create this line chart in Svelte using a chart library called chart.js. Now chart.js is a little bit tricky to use with Svelte, so I'm going to go over the installation and how you can customize it. So this is the chart that we're going to be building, and as you can see, it's got this sort of a transparent color, and it's got this sort of thick orange line, and it's got these points that when you hover over them, they enlarge, and you get a tooltip as well. And there's a little bit of animation going on as well. So, and it's also responsive. So if I resize the window, I can just show you it's responsive. Okay, so chart.js, if I go to the chart.js document site, you can get all the information about installation and the different chart types that we have. We've got line chart, bar chart. So we're going to be concentrating on the line chart, and it's got some configuration details there. And if I go down, it's got these attributes that you can use to customize it to your needs. So it's got quite a lot of customization features there. So you can refer to these as you need them, and after you've gone through this video. Okay, so and thing about chart.js, if I click on the getting started part there, and there's some integration bits that you have to consider, so that it tells you all there. So what we're interested in is the bundlers, and we're using a roll up, so it gives you some information there. So these are the things that I'm going to be covering in this video. Okay, so and if you like these type of videos, please subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. So first of all, let's open up a command prompt in the directory that I want to install my project. Then I type in npx digit svelte.js /template space demo chart. So demo chart is going to be the directory that I'm going to install my project in. So once that's finished, I cd into demo chart. Then I run npm install, and that should install everything. So then I'm ready to open up my code in VS Code. So just type in code space dot. So once you set up your app using npx digit command, you should, when you go into VS Code, you should see all the folders and files set up there. If I go into the source directory, you have your main.js and your app.svelte. So the main.js is your sort of bootstrapping file that loads in app.svelte. And so if I go into the app.svelte, and this is where we're going to be writing our code. To run this, you can go to terminal, new terminal, and do npm run dev. Okay, and this should run it in a browser. So as you can see, it's running on localhost 500. So if I control click that, and that should open it up in the browser. So it's a hello world. So now we got all that running. Okay, what we need to do is, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just close that for a second. Okay, I'm going to go to the browser, and I'm going to go to the chart.js document page. Okay. So I'm in the chart.js doc site, which is chartjs.org/docs, and on the left hand side I've got chart.js getting started in general. So if I click on getting started, I got going to usage, and that tells you how to use chart.js. So I've got so creating a chart, you need a canvas element in your markup, and with an ID, and then in your JavaScript you get hold of the DOM object of that canvas, so like they're doing here. So it's saying var ctx equals DOM get element by ID of my chart. Okay, so that in the example they call it my chart. Okay, so if I go further down, they've got an example code here that demonstrates this. So so what it's doing is you got the markup there, and in the script part you got the variable that captures the DOM object of that canvas element. And then you have a line saying my chart equals new chart. So that's the key thing there, and that's how you create the chart. Okay, so within that chart component, it has two parameters. It has the first parameter is the ID of the DOM object that in this case is the CTX variable. And then in the second parameter is the configuration for your chart. So that's what it's demonstrating here. Okay, so because this code is in the format of the markup and script, so we can copy this straight into our app.svelte script. Okay, so I can just highlight this, go down, highlight the whole script, and then do a right click, copy, or you can do, there's a button there to copy. Okay, so, and I go into my VS Code, and I'm gonna delete, I'm in the app.svelte, so I'm gonna delete what's there already. So it's just blank, then I'm gonna paste this new piece of code in. Okay, so now, so I've got the canvas element at the top. Okay, so in the script part, okay, we're going to do a lot of modification. This won't work as it is now, so we need to make some modifications. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to get access to the DOM object for the canvas. So in Svelte, we need to do a binding. So in the canvas element, I type in bind : and then say this equals to open close curly brackets, and I'm going to say CTX. Now, as you recall, in the code that we copied over, we had a line saying CTX equals document get element. So that's why we're calling it CTX. So we're going to bind it to CTX. So at the top, I'm just going to say let CTX. Let space CTX. Okay, so we can just delete that line. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to make sure that this piece of code runs after this canvas element has been rendered. So in Svelte, we're going to be using on mount. So I'm going to do import on mount, curly brackets, on mount from Svelte. Okay, so then we need to create the function on mount, and this function is going to have an async callback. Okay, and it's going to be an arrow function, open close curly brackets. So we're going to be pasting that code here. So I'm just going to copy all of that. Copy and delete from there. So I'm going to paste it inside here. So now that we've set up our code, we haven't installed chart.js yet. So I'm going to go back to the chart.js site, okay, the document site, and there is some other things that we need to consider. Okay, so to install it, we run npm install chart.js. Okay, now there's also some integration things that we need to consider, because this is for installing on vanilla JS. So we need to integrate it with Svelte. So there is an integration section there on the left hand side, and that tells you how to integrate with different build tools. Okay, so in Svelte, we're using bundlers as like a roll-up. Okay, so what we need to do, so in this section, it tells you how to import the components for your chart and use it. So there's an import section, and then there's a way to register it as well. So when you're building a chart, you can access all these different components. So when you're building it from scratch, you need to know which components that you need to use. For us, we don't really know which components we're going to use because we just sort of copy and paste in the code. So in order to do that, you can either copy all this to import and register it, and then use it like so. In my chart equals new chart, and you put it into that function, the chart function. Okay, so you can do it that way, or you can do it in this method they suggest here. Short registration format is also available. So we can copy and paste that in there, or there's another third way, which is sort of one-liner to import the chart.js. So what we need to do is we're going to run npm install, and we're going to copy and paste that in there. So I'm going to copy this into code. Okay, I'm going to copy it just under the import format. Okay, and W the semicolon. Okay, so I save that. Then I go to terminal, and I say new terminal, and I'm going to say npm install, and it's chart.js. Okay. Okay, so it's installed. Now I'm gonna go to the browser and check if it's running. Okay, there you go. Okay, so the chart is showing up now. So it's just a little bit big. So I go back, and then I go to the app.svelte. Okay, so I need to go to the canvas element, and I just reduce the height to 200. Okay, save that. Okay, so now it's more sort of a reasonable size. Okay, I can reduce it a bit more to 100. Okay, so that's. So we got a basic bar chart up and running, but we need a line chart. And we also need to clean up the script a little bit more. So I'm going to go back to the script, and then I'm going to change the type to a line. Okay, and save that, and go back into the browser. Okay, do a refresh. Refresh again. Okay, so now we've got a line chart. Okay, so that's all you needed to do, because we imported with chart.js with a /auto. It's loaded all the different types of charts already. Otherwise, you'll have to manually import the modules and register them. So that's what we went over earlier. Okay, so also what we need to do is we're going to simplify these background colors and border colors. Now these were specific to each bar in the bar chart. So we're just going to have one color for the line. That's it, and we don't. These are going to be the color for the dots. So we're going to have one color for the dots and one color for the line. Okay, so I'm gonna just copy one of the colors, and then delete this array. Okay, the array of colors, and I'm just gonna paste that color in there. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same for the border color. So the border color is gonna be the line color. So I'm gonna just copy one of the colors, and then delete that whole array carefully. Right, so I've got that color there. Right, now save that, go to the browser. Okay, so now it's got one color, and it's got the same color for the dots as well. So if I go back, now we can also take out the data and the labels as feed it in as a separate variable. So I can just cut that out and say chart data, and at the top we say let chart data equals. Okay, and we can also do the same for the labels. So I just cut out the labels from there. Say labels, and then at the top I say let labels equal. So I'm just doing that so I can simplify the chart settings, and I can you can feed in your data from outside of that function, so you can get an async fetch or something like that. Okay, so I've simplified that. All right, and let's do, and I'm going to save that and let's look. Okay, so it's still loading. Okay, so that's okay. Okay, now we're going to target the dots. So we're going to make the dots a little bit bigger, and also we're going to give the line some curvature. So let's do that first. Okay, so to give it a curvature, so I'll go to the data sets, and after the border width, I'm going to just put a comma there, and give it a attribute called tension, and the tension is going to be 0.3. Okay, so the tension is the curvature of the line. So if I say save that, oops, so now you can see there's a curvature to it. Okay, so go back. Right, now I can give it a thickness as well. So to give it some thickness, so we go to the settings, and after the tension, we're going to say comma, and we're going to say border width. Okay, and border width of let's just say 5. So oops. Okay, so I save that and go back. Okay, so now it's thicker. Right, now we can do the dots. Okay, so we can let's just say we want to give it a radius of 5. Okay, so save that. So the dots have become bigger now. All right. Okay, so now we're going back, and we can also, on hover, we can give it a another setting, make it a different size. So we can say hover. I think it's point hover. That's it. Point hover radius. So we can give that. Let's just say 8. Right. So if I save that and go back. So if I hover over it, so it's enlarged, but it's got this color, which is so we can fix the color now. So it becomes bigger. So if we go back, right? So we need to set the color for this now. So point. So we can get that through point background color. Okay, so I would just say blue. So that. Okay. Okay, so that's. So we can make that radius a little bit bigger. So if we go back and so I can make that an 8 as well. So let's just see what that. Okay, so you can play around with this and fine tune it that way. Okay, so I'll go back, and now that was all. That was the settings for the particular data set. So everything associated with the line and the values. Okay, so if we go to the chart again, okay, so everything to do with the line and the dots will be under the data set. Okay, so but if we want to target the grid, okay, so everything outside that, like the grid lines, then it's under the options. Okay, so anything styling outside of that our data set, we're going to go into the options. So what we can do here is I'm going to set the X scale, and I'm going to target the grid lines. So to target the grid lines, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to say grid, and under grid I'm going to have an object, and in that object I'm going to say display, and it's going to be false. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to get rid of the grid line for the x-axis. Okay, so there you go. So I only get the vertical grid line that goes from the y-axis. Okay, so that's how you target that area of the chart. Okay, to wrap things up, we're gonna give the line chart a fill color. So to do that, first we need to set the fill attribute to true, otherwise it doesn't allow you to do it. Okay, so set it fill to true, and I'll say background color, and I'll set it to say an orange. Okay, so and I'll save that and go back. So hold on a minute, let me just make sure I've done it right. I spelled it wrong, orange. Oops. Orange. Okay, so save that. Okay, so got an orange color. Now we can make it transparent. If I just right click inspect this color, I just get any color. Okay, and I can just select an orange color and set the transparency. Okay, so I'm just using the inspector to pick a color. I'm not doing anything. So I can just copy that color. So all I'm doing here is I'm just selecting a color and setting the transparency. So again, RGBA color. So I've copied that, and I just go into my code and I just paste it there. Okay, so I use the debugger to select a transparency color. So if I save that and go back in, alright, now I've got a sort of transparency there to the orange color. So I can set it to even say 40% or 30%. Okay, so it gives you a more transparent color there. So that makes it look much better. So that's how you set the color for the line chart, and that wraps up the tutorial. So hope you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to my channel if you want more tutorials like this.